you listen to the media, you get the impression there is a very high level of commitment to reversing the wrongs in the voter registration exercise by the National Democratic Congress. Is it true? Masa, is it true? Where is the commitment of the National Democratic Congress? A few days ago, I checked. At this very crucial moment, when the EC is behaving as it is, when people are suffering, they can't register, and so on, all these problems, all or most of the leaders of the National Democratic Congress are outside this country. Where is their commitment to fight? Maza, where is their commitment to fight to ensure that the right thing is done when they can leave this country, go abroad, for what? At this crucial moment.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
For higher PENDREAM TV in Pachos and your first time I subscribe to channel no found Sabo Adomane to say the video be a tour. Ube first person I share. Usha video new you send a voice note mine. I was 0277 128 777 0277 128 777. I be bo actually Ghana for you na. For yanko share and a video number.
Well, the difficulties in participating in this registration exercise have been amplified many times over. They include long distances, which are also tied to the fact that they involve huge expenditures, on the part of persons who are going to register for the first time. Now, it is important that for the first time there appears to be a unity, around this exercise. I've heard many leading members of the New Patriotic Party condemn the EC for what it is doing. Many. Not one, not two, many. We've had a situation where the LPG, which normally likes to fight the National Democratic Congress, has joined a group of parties, including the National Democratic Congress, to go to court. You understand? It does appear that the vast majority of the Ghanaian people are opposed to the manner in which the EC is carrying out this exercise. Now, in spite of that, the EC is going ahead and doing what the vast majority of our people object to. What may be the reason for this? And I think the reason for this simply is the belief by the EC and some citizens that the EC has unfettered independence and can do as it likes. I think that's where the problem is. We must make it clear that no constitutional institution, no national institution can have unfettered independence. Not even Parliament. You understand? Not the Judiciary, not the Executive can have unfettered independence. As a matter of fact, all of these constitutional bodies and so on, the power they exercise is the power of the people. It is our sovereignty who gives them power to do whatever they want. And they should not forget that at any time, the people of Ghana can even change the constitution. I mean, the other time I was arguing that, why? The people of Ghana can at some point decide that they don't need a Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court will cease to exist. The people of Ghana at some point can decide that they don't think that an electoral commission is useful, and there will be no electoral commission. So if this institution understand that they do not have unfettered powers, perhaps it will be the beginning when they begin to listen to the people. Right now, they don't listen to the people at all. Now, I'm worried by also one development. I'm exceedingly worried by Anytime there is an issue, then you hear this cacophony of where are the bishops? Where is the Christian council as well? How should they speak? Why do we make it look like they are the final arbiters and that if they don't speak, there's a problem? If they don't speak, people who want to speak should speak. The fact that they don't speak should not be seen as a hindrance. It is not a flaw and so on. Let them shut up. Who cares? Who cares whether they speak or they don't speak? Those who have to speak are speaking. Now, for me, and this is a very critical point that I like to make. You see, it is not just the issue. The political parties themselves are demonstrating that they cannot protect the interests of our people to the fullest extent possible. If you listen to the media, you get the impression there is a very high level of commitment to reversing the wrongs in the voter registration exercise by the National Democratic Congress. Is it true? Massa, is it true? Where is the commitment of the National Democratic Congress? A few days ago, I checked. At this very crucial moment, when the EC is behaving as it is, when people are suffering, they can't register, and so on, all these problems, all or most of the leaders of the National Democratic Congress are outside this country. Where is their commitment to fight? Massa, where is their commitment to fight to ensure that the right thing is done when they can leave this country, go abroad, for what? At this crucial moment. I'm worried. Now, I've been hearing all kinds of statements from the NDC again about how if the elections are rigged, they will not allow it, they will do this, they will do that. My brother, think about it. The current chairman of the National Democratic Congress, who was a key witness of the National Democratic Congress in the election petition. Why? Because of internal competition, because he wants to get rid of Opposition Popo, comes to tell us that they went to court without evidence. That they were wasting our time, wasting the time of the Supreme Court. You know, they didn't have any evidence. Massa, after saying this, next time, can you go and mobilize anybody when you say that the elections have been rigged? How are they to believe you? It didn't end there, my brother. It didn't end there. A couple of days ago, Dr. Kwesi, a key person in the collation of results, a key person in making sure that people's votes mattered and so on, comes out and says the EC did nothing wrong. So now listen to me carefully. Says the EC did nothing wrong. We couldn't collect our results, and if there's any problem, it was us. After this, who are you going to mobilize to resist election rigging? After this, who are you going to mobilize to resist election rigging? So, Massa, it is important for us to get beyond the rhetorics and see things feely for what they are. Now, one of the things that has shocked me the most in all of these discussions, in this voter registration exercise and so on, is the conduct of the judiciary. I mean, unbelievable. We are told that the parties which try to file an injunction, that their case cannot be heard because the Chief Justice is not available. Massa,
the date.
Yeah.
The date cannot be given.
Yeah, so it cannot be heard. That's all I'm saying. Now, Master, the absence of the Chief Justice. What we are being told is that if the Chief Justice is not available, and I don't know how she's not available, but if she's not available, Ghanaians cannot get justice. Now, she's not available. What does that mean? Has she traveled out of Accra? Has she traveled out of country? Is she sick? I don't know. But whatever it is, the judiciary must function whether a Chief Justice is available or is not available. And indeed, sometimes the judiciary is called upon to act even outside working hours because somebody's rights are at stake. I find it extraordinary that the excuse for not hearing the case is that the Chief Justice is not available. Okay. Now we are told that the Chief Justice is not available, but we all see and hear her in Cape Coast. What does it take to bring the Chief Justice from Cape Coast to Accra? What is important? A writ over the registration of voters or an address at the Ghana Bar Association conference, which is important. It didn't end there. A couple of days later, we saw our Chief Justice in the company of Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia opening the headquarters, the new headquarters of the Methodist Church. Opening the new headquarters of the Methodist Church and sitting on a writ about the rights of citizens to vote, which is important. My brother, which one is important? So I am so sick. I mean, I can't understand what is happening. The political parties behave irresponsibly. Our judiciary behaves in a way which does not give us comfort. And then, Master, in all of these controversies, I heard an official of the Electoral Commission. Maybe I didn't know what to do to myself. An official of the Electoral Commission, in response to the fact that people were being disenfranchised, people could not register to vote and so on. His response, can you believe, Senna? His response is that it is not compulsory to vote. An official of the Electoral Commission says that don't worry, after all, voting is not compulsory. If you don't vote, it doesn't matter. If you think you can't go to register because you have to pay 300 cedis, go to hell. Hey! Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has a responsibility, clear responsibility, to ensure that every eligible voter registers to vote. In fact, when we are checking election outcomes, one of the criteria is turnout. But in Ghana, the Electoral Commission encourages people not to register because registration is not by force, voting is not by force. You understand? This is the attitude of an official of the Electoral Commission. I am worried. I'm deeply worried about what is likely to happen in 2024 or before then. Deeply worried. Now, what is my worry? One of my worries is the obvious reality that membership of the Electoral Commission is deliberately being shaped in order to provide for MPP's own legal or illegal aspirations. There is no reason which would justify the appointment of Dr. Apia Hine onto the Electoral Commission. And yet it has happened. After a few letters to Council of State and so on, NDC went to sleep. He's asleep. He's snoring. The man is still there. 2024, he'll be one of those who was in elections in this country, in spite of the fact that in his case, his membership and advocacy for MPP is proven beyond doubt. He's still there. I mean, Master, can you imagine when MPP was in opposition, if this had happened? What do you think that MPP would have done? Nobody could work peacefully in the Electoral Commission for how many, It won't happen. MPP would not allow you to sleep if MPP was in opposition. And that is why, in spite of the mess in the economy and so on, the MPP appears to have some vim. It is so confident that it is winning the election. Because it knows that its opponents are weak. They don't fight. They don't bite. They will take everything. Why do you think that they are so confident that they are going to win the elections? Look at the state of the economy. People can't buy food. You understand? The rate of inflation is still above 40%. Money supply has risen by about that same percentage. Look, the schools cannot be fed. Children in the schools cannot be fed and so on. In the face of all of these problems, they have the vim that they will break the 8. What gives them the? Because they know that no matter what method they use to break the 8, in the final analysis, the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress would endorse. They know that in the final analysis, they are going to have a lot more Kwesi whites endorsing their actions and so on. That's why they have their fame. You understand? Mother, what is happening? We should take care. Because I see an avalanche. Because look, when we get to the stage where the people don't think that their interests will be protected by the political parties, all the political parties will be shoved aside, and the people will take their own decisions and take their own actions in order to assert their rights. Yes, after all, their rights do not belong to the political parties. No political party has custody of the rights of the people of this country. And that is what is frightening. Because if you live in a society where the masses are unorganized, where the masses do not have clear leadership and so on, and those who are to behave responsibly behave so irresponsibly, and the masses get angry, what happens is an eruption of a volcano. You can't control it. You don't know where it will end and so on. And that is why I think that it's the interest of the political parties themselves and our collective interest as Ghanaians to begin to act in an orderly manner in order to ensure that some changes occur which give meaning to the control of the people over their affairs. Otherwise, we are playing with fire, naked fire. We are all playing with naked fire. CPP, NDC, LPG, MPP, all of us are playing with naked fire. And I am really, 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 frightened by what is happening. Now, I was talking about the judiciary. Parties are seeking an injunction to stop what is happening because, one, it is unlawful. Two, because it is simply inconveniencing people and so on. And the judiciary looks all of us in the face and says, oh, the exercise is starting early September. Don't worry. We will hear your petition. But we will hear it after the exercise is over. What is the point of hearing the petition? What is the point of hearing the petition after the exercise has already been carried out? Now, this brings us to the case of Daniel Dumelevo. You remember? Civil society organizations went to court and said that, look, Daniel Dumelevo is being dismissed illegally. His rights are being trampled upon and so on. Of course, the judiciary heard the case and came out with a verdict which says that the president's actions were unconstitutional. At that point, the man had been sacked already. The man had reached the retiring age. You couldn't take him back. So what is the value of that decision? I want to take you back one more step. Ayawasu West Wogon, you remember?
Yeah.
There was some dispute over election results.
Was it 2000?
I think so. You know, the matter went to court. By the time the court made a decision, that term of parliament was over. I think the candidate was Amu. By the time the judiciary came to the conclusion that Amu had been robbed and that Amu should have been the legitimate parliamentarian, parliament's term was over. So what was the value of that decision? I think it is you lawyers who argue for haste and make the point that justice denied is justice delayed is justice denied. Now, we are not even working with that maxim anymore. You know, look, there are many things fundamentally wrong with our constitution. We have a constitution which gives unfettered right to citizens to protest. Unfettered right to protest, to demonstrate and so on. Somehow, some government decided that citizen unfettered right to protest was too much, so they are going to introduce fetters. So what do? They go to parliament and they pass the public order law which introduces fetters. As far as I'm concerned, those fetters are unconstitutional. But be that as it may, even when we have complied with the law, including the constitution and the public order law and so on, now we have a situation where the police actually will rush to court, file ex parte motions to restrain demonstrators. Ex parte. So even those who are expressing their right of protest and so on are not heard, and the courts decide just on the basis of the say-so of the police to ban protest and so on. And we are sitting here. Do you know that as of now, on the basis of a court judgment, if you want to demonstrate, you need to seek permission from the police. The law does not say that, but on the basis of a court judgment, a Supreme Court judge sitting as an additional judge in the High Court actually ruled that every demonstration is potentially violent. And because every demonstration is potentially violent, his understanding of the constitutional provision on protest and so on is that if you want to demonstrate, you need police permit. That law has not been challenged. In fact, there are many laws which need to be challenged which have not been challenged. And I'm worried. You know that there's another decision of our courts that employers need not give reasons for dismissing workers. That has also not been challenged. So that has become part of our law. And we are all there sitting down, watching and watching. Let me make this final point. I'm not the only one. There are many of us who are involved in struggles against military dictatorship. So many, thousands of Ghanaians were involved in those struggles. We thought that we were contributing to building a better Ghana. Today, I ask myself that in those days, in the 1970s when we were fighting against the Champagne government, in the 1980s when we were fighting against the Rawlings government and so on, if we knew that what we're experiencing today would have been the outcome, would we have fought? What is the value of all the fight if this is what we have? People died in that struggle. Kwame Ajima died. Kwame Ajima was executed without trial. He died. Ahuru Honga, he died, killed on the streets and so on. Now, did all these people die so that in September 2023 we have Jean Adukwei Mensah, is that the name? Jean Adukwei Mensah behaving as God? Ahuru Honga died so that the chairperson of the Electoral Commission can behave like God? Kwame Ajima died so that disputes before the judiciary will be handled the manner in which they are being handled today? What about those who lost their eyes? Those who lost their limbs and so on? Is this what we fought for? I don't know. Now, Senator, let me come back. I said this was going to be my last comment. Let me make another last comment. And this is the last of the last comments. Anyway, we're going to discuss that later. So maybe I should just stop. I was going to make a comment about the police service and how the police service can become a dangerous nest of thugs. But when we come to the next topic.
Thank you very much.
For channel a share video we also PENDREAM TV mpacho wa share we adwuntwa bia wo fa video yi no ho bia no send my 0277128777 0277128777 WhatsApp number no send your voice ne bra na bebo magana fo nyina te wonka
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.